Okay, we're doing some testing, and what we're looking for right now is we have two players in a network connection. They're could be playing over the internet, but we've got Prime and we've got Boston, and they're both looking at each other. And uh, if I click down here, I'm playing for uh, I'm playing for Boston, and if I click up here, I'm playing for Prime. And we have a bug right now. Where we're just going to go to a singular place. All right, let's go here to this is the village. Go here. So we're both there. We can both see each other's hands. That we're in this space. And so, but what I'm going to do is let's say that Boston down here wants to drop a spell on Prime, and it should be pretty straightforward to do. But right now, if Prime picks up any object, such as this piece of trash that's been thrown out the window, and puts it on their lap, right? So Prime now has a piece of garbage on their lap, and Boston down here is like, oh, I'm gonna drop a spell on you, or I'm gonna drop. We'll just go with a spell because it's easy to see what's going on. So we're gonna drop blindness on Prime, but Prime has something on their lap. So what happens is the spell doesn't take effect because it's being blocked. So we're going to take a look at that. And the way I can do that is um, I can finger this. Um, so it is actually in this. Um, it's in this machine. So there's a machine called the id spell, which covers spells being dropped, or anything, honestly, being dropped onto the character. And what this is doing is it's saying um, that it's waiting, let's see, waited for sig dropped, meaning that something was dropped. And where it's currently at is check the object, and it determined that the object was not a spell, but is just a regular object. So, so it looks like that Prime has a regular object, and they're sitting in that, and there's no way once that player is has a regular object, there's no way to to receive a spell, and so that's a bug. And so if I take out the regular object and I put it in my inventory, and then I say, okay, I'm gonna take a spell and drop it on Prime. Then Prime goes dark. There's a spell, and there's spell view here, and so right now Prime can't see anything. So what I think I want to do here is I want to go from having a regular object in my lap, in the id's lap, uh, to waiting for another object, right? Because I don't want to get rid of the fact that you can pass objects to each other. So that is seriously useful. Being able to this person's no longer spelled. So this one, if I just want to drop objects back and forth and transfer them between players, I want to be able to do that. But if there's an object in my lap, I don't want to be able to use that as a defensive mechanism to avoid being spelled on. So what I think I want to do is when you have a regular object in your lap, um, right now it is waiting for a grab of that regular object, and then it sends it back to zero, which I think is correct. But I also want it to listen for another object. So in this case, you'll see that the standard way, if it's empty and it starts at 0, it goes from wait. It's waiting for a signal called sig dropped, and then it shows the object, and and then it goes into check object. So essentially, what I want is from this state, not going to 0, but to creating another state called perhaps from regular object to check object. That's what I want. I want to go from regular object to check object with the same transitional code as what's happening here, so that you can receive additional objects when a regular object. So let's take a look at our code. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a state. I'm just going to copy this section and go from regular object to check object. Right. And I'm going to do that with the same way. I'm going to wait for the sig dropped. So regular object to check object. Oopsies. Right here. Waiting for sig dropped. And I am going to copy this. I'm going to look for the inbound object. And in this case, I'm duplicating code. And I think I could probably do it a little differently. And that goes into inbound item, where those set up that. And then this clears. And it goes to object check. Okay, so the regular object that's sitting there is going to disappear. So that might be the only thing that. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to clear W object. That's how that's going to work. Okay, so we're going to test to see whether or not we have fixed our issue. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put, in Prime's lab, we're going to put this object, which is not a spell, and we're going to look, over here to see if we can detect it. So regular object now looks a little different. So I can grab it. I should be able to grab it. Yep. And let me see if I can grab it. See if I didn't mess that up. So Prime's up here. Prime can grab it, and Prime can drop it. Okay. And so on the spell then, I should be able to be listening for another spell. So if this works, good to go. Aha, and it worked. So it got rid of the object that they were using to prevent that, which is kind of dangerous if you leave an object on your lab and someone drops a spell on you, it disappears. Which is just kind of par for the course, I think. All right, well that's awesome. So let's just kind of look at what we did. So in the regular object now, it's waiting for a signal of the drop, and then it goes to check object. Check object's already been there and knows how to assess spells and so forth, which worked quite nicely. Awesome. Well, that was fixing a bug.